Okay, so for average hourly earnings month to month ni seperti yang anda dapat lihat sini adalah 0.4%, iaitu adalah kurang ya daripada 0.6% ya. Jadi maknanya apa yang kita faham dekat sini ialah kalau contohnya dia adalah kurang ya, maksud dia sebenarnya tidak membantu kepada US dollar. Maknanya US dollar akan menurun. Tapi seperti yang kita dapat lihat daripada data-data sebelum ni, kita tahu yang bahawa actual dia sebenarnya melebihi ya daripada apa yang mereka forecastkan. Okey, jadi kemungkinan besar juga yang bahawa kita akan mendapatkan average hourly earnings di sini adalah tinggi ya. Dan lagi satu paling penting di sini adalah untuk kita semua tahu ialah dia adalah leading indicator. Okey. Jadi sepertinya yang kita tahu for leading indicator, the impactnya ya is about 6 months to 12 months. Okay, that is only for short term. Okay, but for the long term is basically between 12 months to 24 months. Ya, jadi okay, jadi ini adalah sesuatu yang sangat penting ya, kerana dia pasti akan efekkan market. Okay, dan seperti yang kita boleh lihat sesuatu yang kita sangat tunggu-tunggukan iaitu NFT. Okay, non-farm payroll okay, or non-farm employment change ya. Okay, dia ada banyak nama yang anda boleh lihat di sini, non-farm payrolls, NFP, employment change ya. These are all actually referring to one particular news ya. News ini, okay. Jadi news ini adalah sangat penting kerana news ini boleh memberikan tips ya, yang sangat banyak sebenarnya di dalam market ya. It can give you a lot of tips. So basically seperti yang anda dapat lihat, apa yang difokuskan adalah 200,000 ya. 200,000 lebih kurang ya daripada 263 ya. Jadi sepertinya kita lihat daripada data-data yang sebelum ini, kita sebenarnya mempunyai actual kita sebenarnya lebih tinggi ya. Lebih tinggi daripada apa yang difokuskan. Kalau contohnya actual dia adalah bagus, makanya kenaikan US dollar itu adalah pasti ya. Jadi seperti yang kita dapat lihat di sini, kita ada dua contradiction. Satunya adalah di average hourly earnings, okay, iaitu juga adalah satu leading indicator dan kemungkinan besar ianya akan dipatahkan ya. Ianya akan dipatahkan dengan leading indicator yang lain. Okay. Okay. Welcome to all of you. Yeah. Based on the previous data memang ya actual will be greater. So maksudnya kita boleh melihat kepada kenaikan US dollar kemungkinan akan berlaku ya. Jadi okay, we have satu contradiction seperti yang saya kata. Pertama adalah di average average hourly earning and also non-farm payroll. So that's one of it that's one of it. Tapi ada something lagi yang juga kita perlu lihat that we have to see, which is the unemployment rate If there is any question, please kindly ask me in the chat box I'm willing to answer any questions Not to worry our starting is a bit lagging, but then later on we will try to push it further Okay, stay tuned Okay, for unemployment rate basically seperti yang kita dapat lihat di sini, as we can see over here, it's about 3.7%. There is no changes tak ada changes langsung. Maksudnya dia ni tidak memberikan apa-apa impact. It doesn't give much impact actually to the market, but we have to understand that this is actually a lagging indicator. Ini adalah lagging indicator. Kenapa lagging indicator ni adalah penting? Kerana dia berlaku selepas leading indicator. Jadi maknanya di sini adalah kalau leading indicator mempunyai impact sebanyak 6 bulan ke 12 bulan untuk short term. Kalau long term adalah 12 bulan ke 24 bulan. Maknanya kalau kita melihat kepada unemployment rate di sini, ianya adalah sebenarnya lagging indicator. Lagging indicator juga mempunyai impact yang sama untuk short term dengan long term. Dan apa yang berlaku di sini ialah ianya adalah untuk mengkonfirmkan untuk confirmkan leading indicator Okay, this kalau lagging indicator menyokong kepada kenaikan US dollar, maknanya trend pasti akan berterusan. Okay, welcome Trishul.
Hi, thank you.
Nice to have you here. Okay. Alright, yeah. So, okay. Jadi apa yang penting Apa yang penting di sini adalah kita kena melihat kepada news ini ya. Dan
bisa berbeza saja mungkin ada.
Okay. So juga kita perlu pastikan yang bahawa kalau kita sebenarnya bercakap tentang lagging indicator, basically kita harus tahu di mana sebenarnya direction lagging indicator juga, kerana lagging indicator boleh membantu kita okay, sama ada penerusan trend akan berlaku ataupun penukaran trend akan berlaku ya. Kalau ada sebarang soalan sila tanya basically just ask me in the chat box. Alright. So seperti yang anda dapat lihat tak ada perubahan. Okey, tak ada perubahan dan seperti yang anda dapat lihat daripada semua sebelum ini anda dapat melihat dia adalah lebih kepada penurunan dan kalau ada pun ada kenaikan sedikit, if not most to most, it is all the same dia adalah sama. Jadi kemungkinan untuk unemployment rate untuk sebenarnya sama adalah sebenarnya tinggi this data is reliable basically. So kalau contohnya if let's say non-farm payroll sebenarnya ada kenaikan, makanya sebenarnya akan disambung di unemployment rate juga, okay, di mana dia berada di 3.7% yang tidak akan memberikan impact, which means that it doesn't give impact and basically more bearish would basically happen okay, since we are focusing on gold. Okay. So as we can see for the next one at 11 p.m. We have ISM services PMI. Okay. So ISM services PMI is also a leading indicator. So as you can see kita ada banyak leading indicator dan kita ada banyak lagging indicator. And why all this is very important ataupun kenapa hari ini sangat penting, kerana hari ini sebenarnya akan sebenarnya meneruskan trend untuk minggu depan. Kalau kita faham trend untuk hari ini sebenarnya dan juga kita tahu hari ini adalah Friday, maksudnya market selalu volatile pada Friday untuk gold. Kalau kita faham trend untuk hari ini, makanya kita dah tahu dah penerusan trend akan berlaku pada hari Isnin juga. We will know what is the trend for the coming Monday as well. Okay. So as we are able to see here, seperti yang kita dapat lihat untuk ISM Services PMI okay, it's a leading indicator dan anda boleh lihat sini adalah 55.0 iaitu lebih kurang daripada 56.5. Okay, which means that this will actually support more towards the downside of the US dollar. Okay, so seperti yang kita dapat lihat, unemployment rate tadi tak ada perubahan. Dan kemudian selepas tu kita ada ISM Services PMI yang sebenarnya akan membuat retracement Okey, boleh kata sebagai retracement ataupun boleh kata sebagai penurunan akan berlaku selepas perkara ini berlaku ISM Services PMI. Kalau anda ingin tahu apa ISM Services PMI, jadi ini adalah sebenarnya survey untuk 300 purchasing managers yang akan tanyakan tentang business condition yang mengandungi employment, production, new orders, prices, supplier deliveries dan juga inventories. Anda boleh baca sebenarnya apa ISM Services PMI ini dan kenapa dia adalah sangat penting. Okey. Jadi itu yang kita lihat itu yang kita lihat penting Tapi saya ada lagi satu perkara yang saya nak sentuh Esok Saturday esok adalah hari Sabtu. Jadi seperti yang kita tahu selalunya gold market adalah tutup pada waktu hari Sabtu dengan Ahad But if you can see here, we have something which we call as FOMC. Okay, FOMC is basically very important no matter whether Jay Powell speaks, whether someone from the threshold or anything basically that if anyone also from FOMC basically speaks, it is a very very important news walaupun dia adalah di dalam kategori low impact because somehow we know that what happens here on Monday is basically being affected by what is actually happening on Friday so when you see anything related to field speaks, man speaks, threshold, J Powell or anything, this is something yang anda kena alert juga kerana apa yang berlaku di sini okay tentang NFP ini dan juga unemployment rate ini ya. Ya, ini adalah sangat penting ya. Ini adalah news yang sangat penting ya. Untuk unemployment rate dengan NFP ini apa yang berlaku kat sini ni. Okey. Jadi ini juga akan efek ya kepada bagaimana Fed sebenarnya, okay, Federal Reserve for US basically, bagaimana dia akan deal ya, sama ada dia nak naikkan interest rate dia ataupun mereka nak kurangkan interest rate dia. Yeah, so that means it's very actually important also to see for the next day news as well, if it's related to FOMC or it's not related to FOMC at all. Well, we'll continue bullish with dollar index going down again. Okay, I will answer that question. Definitely, I will answer that question because that question is very, very interesting. Okay, I will share as well what are the news, what are the basically news as well. Because from the schedule one, because currently, Morella, we are just focusing on the schedule. Schedule adalah sesuatu yang kita tahu. Schedule is something that we know. Basically what might happen basically, but before 9:30 we still have to know what is actually happening in the market as well. So of course, we need the proper news that can actually help us throughout the day basically. And how do we basically find this news is that we will basically use another website which is known as the investing.com, okay, which I will be showing you as usual. You just go to XAU/USD, okay? Because sometimes people do have concern, about what news is actually impactful to the market. So basically, when you look at the schedule news is something that you know roughly at what time it's going to happen and when the impact is likely to actually be placed in the market. But however, whatever that happens before this is something that we cannot predict basically. So we need to get the proper news in order to help us out. So seperti yang anda dapat lihat di sini kalau anda pergi ke XAU USD, anda akan dapat datang kepada page ini. Dan kemudian kalau anda scroll bawah di sini anda boleh lihat apa yang berlaku di sini Gold turns flat before payrolls data, copper cheered by China reopening. That's one of the fundamental factor. I will explain also. Okay, as you can see, apabila news ini berlaku ada kenaikan. Apabila news ini berlaku ada kenaikan. Okay, anda boleh lihat di technical chart di sini. Okay, tapi paling pentingnya kalau anda scroll ke bawah ni, anda boleh melihat ada sekurang-kurangnya 3 news kat sini. Okay, jadi 3 news ini adalah satu news yang sangat-sangat penting. Okay, it's a very, very important news for you to look into. So let's look into the first news. As you're able to see here, what happens is that after this news, lepas news ini, kita dah mempunyai satu kenaikan. Kita dah tengok daripada sini pun kita dah tahu dah ada satu kenaikan di sini Okey. Cuma ni sekarang ni kita bukan nak tengok apa yang dah berlaku Kita nak tahu apa yang akan berlaku. Tapi untuk tahu apa yang akan berlaku tu kita kena tahu apa yang telah berlaku. Okay, what has happened. So kalau if we see this if we really see this if we look into this, it looks like it's a very long news basically to go through actually but this is where semua benda tentang fundamental analysis telah dikategoriskan di sini, which means that everything that you need to know about fundamental analysis is already being listed here, which means that you don't have to basically open a bar chart, you don't have to basically open a line chart, and take a longer time in order for you to do fundamental analysis. The news itself sebenarnya boleh membantu. Okay, let's go with this. As we can see over here, for gold prices hovered near 7 months high on Friday as market awaited a key reading on US non-farm payrolls, while copper prices reversed weekly losses amid the relaxing of more anti-COVID measures in major importer China. So seperti yang kita tahu as we know actually in China, basically they are having issue with their COVID-19 over there. So due to this actually the market is actually not very stable because if let's say China is actually opening up more basically, so what will happen is that the metal market will definitely rise up. Jadi seperti yang kita tahu Okay, I will just go for the most important points. Okay, okay, I will just go for the most important points. As you can see here, okay, a move points to relaxing or more anti-COVID ramped up here over a broader or reopening in the country. Okay, were flat and everything. Still, China is facing an unprecedented spike in COVID-19 cases after the country relaxed the curbs in December. Maksud dia di Disember ini kita sebenarnya ya, kita sebenarnya boleh okay, just have to unmute. Okay, okay. So seperti yang kita dapat lihat di sini ya, kita dapat melihat yang apabila dia sebenarnya relaxkan dia punya COVID-19 punya restriction, apa yang berlaku ialah COVID-19 case dia sebenarnya naik ya, dan analis sebenarnya katakan yang bahawa trend ini boleh sebenarnya menyebabkan delay untuk broader reopening, okay, and also cause near-term market volatility. Okay, maksud dia kalau contohnya China tak buka dia punya border keseluruhannya, makanya kita tahu yang bahawa ia pasti akan memberi impact kepada market, iaitu market untuk gold pasti akan menurun lah, ya, okay, pasti akan menurun. Okay, so one more thing is that very important in this news ialah kita melihat kepada apa yang Fed buat. Okay, Fed is Federal Reserve. So as we understand from the Federal Reserve, basically, okay, US non-farm payroll are expected to have eased slightly in December, indicating some cooling in the labor market after a series of sharp rate hikes in Federal Reserve in 2022. Okay, so okay, yeah, gold prices were supported. Yeah, gold prices were supported basically by recent signals by Fed that central bank were likely to raise interest rate at a slower pace in 2023. Okay, and this has actually helped bullion prices as well. Okay, disebabkan perkara ini berlaku juga, kita sebenarnya tahu sebenarnya yang bahawa gold price sebenarnya telah naik juga. Okay, jadi coming to your question, Moral, coming to your question, will gold continue to be bullish with dollar index going down again? Okay, that's a very, very good question, because dollar index is also another fundamental factor that we definitely have to look into. If let's say dollar index is basically going up, so of course dollar will definitely go up as well. If dollar index come down, then of course dollar will actually come down. Okay, dollar index and dollar. So from here basically, from our understanding over here is that we don't have any strong measurement in order for us to actually predict the trend. But from this particular news, from what I understand is that we can see that actually that Fed has actually made it very clear that they will hike the interest rate, but they will do it at slower pace, and this has actually helped for the gold price to actually rise. Okay, and for China, basically, they are actually opening some of their borders. They are trying their best in order to open their borders, which will definitely make the investors to basically consider to actually go for gold rather than US dollar. Okay, so this is what I get over here. And of course, if you ask me to the answer to the question, if gold will continue to be bullish, the answer is yes. Yeah, the answer is yes. Okay, but I want to actually explain regarding what happened before this particular news. Saya nak explain sesuatu apa yang berlaku sebelum news ini. Okay, so jadi seperti yang anda dapat lihat di sini, US stocks are falling after stronger than expected jobs data stopped rate fears. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, let's look at it here. Sebab ini adalah news yang berlaku sebelum news ini keluar sebenarnya. Before this news actually comes out, this news actually comes out. So we must know actually what happened previously that actually lead to this particular news to actually be out. Okay, so as we are able to see here, okay, US stocks are falling after stronger than expected jobs data stopped rate fears. Okay, alright. So kita boleh tengok US stock jatuh. Kalau US stock jatuh selalunya, apa yang akan berlaku ialah most of the time kalau kita lihat kalau US stock jatuh, maka dia US dollar akan naik selalunya. Tapi ada ketikanya juga dia ni akan berlaku sebaliknya di mana gold akan naik So kita boleh melihat di sini ADP private payroll says that employers added 235,000 jobs in December after rising by 127,000 jobs in November. Analysts had expected additions of 150,000. At the same time, the number of people seeking for new unemployment claims fell from the prior week. Okay, so this is actually good for US dollar. So Fed has been closely watching the labor market as it decides the direction of the interest rate increases to tame inflation. Okay, all right. So based on this, basically, we can see, even though actually some of the data is basically supporting more towards the US dollar, but however, since actually that that Fed is the main point. Fed is actually the main point where that if they increase the interest rate, then definitely it's actually going to shift everything in the market. And if they reduce the interest rate, then of course it's going to shift everything in the market as well. Okay, so this is what actually we have. So from here itself, we already know itself that actually the US dollar is basically weakening itself, which basically leads to this particular incident to happen. Okay, this is a very easy way to basically look at the news. Okay, so some people ask me, can I look at the previous news? Can I look at the coming news? I mean like previous news? Yes. The question is yes. You can definitely do that. As many news as you would like to see, it's much better actually. First and foremostly, I want to ask, is there any particular question that you would like to ask before I continue further with the fundamental range? Okay, and moreover, another thing that I want to actually say during NFP, okay, let's talk about NFP. During NFP, okay, market is going to actually have some reversal, okay, which means that, okay, if you see really properly, if we know that actually it's happening bullish, we know that the trend is basically bullish for today. But however, as we see in our Forex Factory, for the NFP, we can see that most of our data is basically supporting more towards US dollar. So which means that if any one of you actually place your buy signals, basically you place your buy trade, please kindly close it before the NFP, because what actually happens here is that it is likely that you're going to face a lot of turbulence due to this news, Jadi memang akan berlaku sebenarnya memang US dollar akan menguat pada masa ini sebenarnya. Okey. Tapi sebenarnya kalau kita melihat kepada trend untuk hari ini memang menyokong kepada bullish. Dan saya ada something juga yang menarik yang saya nak share. Okey. As you are able to see here, I'm very sorry for this thing, okay, but it's okay. What is most important is that I just want to show you related to what happened to daily. Okay, as you are able to see here, okay, for the Thursday, which is on the 5th of January, which was yesterday, anda boleh melihat yang sini adalah candle bearish. Okay, sini adalah candle bearish. Okay. Jadi seperti yang kita tahu, walaupun sebenarnya kita menyokong kepada bullish, okay, kita menyokong kepada bullish, tapi kita lihat trend yang berlaku untuk daily masa tu adalah lebih kepada bearish. That means for the long term, it actually supported the bearish. So likely, if let's say all the US data today is basically supporting more towards more towards bearish or more towards US dollar. So it is likely, of course, that it will never ever cross this particular range, which is at 1859.17. Okay, take that range very carefully here, because I'm actually looking at the daily. I'm not looking at the shorter term, short time frames here. Okay, So it will definitely not be able to cross at 1859.17. Okay, and I'm taking it at the shadow, basically not at the body. Okay, so likely if we see right now for the candle, yeah, we can see that we have at 1830.06 for today. Yeah, and is it likely that it can come down from that? Okay, yes, it can. Yeah, it definitely can. So I do actually teach on fundamental range as well. Okay, the reason why I'm looking at this is because I want to compare it with what actually happened yesterday. Yeah, with what actually happened yesterday. Because if you have a proper fundamental range, what happens is that you can trade within that range and you would be able to be safe in the market. Ya, adalah penting ya untuk anda tahu fundamental range ya. Supaya kalau anda trade dengan menggunakan technical analysis nanti anda akan selamat. Okay, so as you are able to see over here, I'm always more to data. So as you can see here, currently the day's range is between 1830.76 to 1840.88, which means that actually that the market has actually crossed this particular road. Ya, kita faham yang bahawa market telah cross this particular road ya. Okay. So jadi kalau kita nak cari satu range yang betul selalunya kita akan melihat kepada range ini. Maksudnya kita tahu yang dia pasti akan melalui jalan ini. Okay, it will definitely cross through that particular range. But as we see here also, there is no much pips as well from between 1830.76 to 1840.88. There is another way in order for you to actually calculate for your range. Okay, as you can see a general under historical data. Okay, under historical data, you can see here that you have the open and also you have the high over here. Okay, take at least 5 open prices, okay, and take at least 5 high prices. Why do you take open and why do you take high? Is because open basically is the opening of the day, okay, and high is because the highest in the day, basically, yeah. Okay, so as we can see over here, we can take 5 but divide by 5, ya, bahagi dengan 5. Kalau anda ambil 10 pun jangan bahagi dengan 10, bahagi dengan 5. Kenapa anda bahagi dengan 5? Kerana kita menggunakan konsep frequency number, iaitu frequency number 5. Okay, which is also equivalent to moving average 5. Okay, siapa-siapa yang sebenarnya banyak menggunakan moving average and everything, okay, this is actually the concept, yeah. This is the real calculation, only that this is being done manually rather than actually using the indicator, yeah. Okay, so this is how basically they calculate, where they take the average price for the open, okay, and they take the average price for the high for the past 5 days or maybe for the past 10 days, but however they divide it by 5 in order to find the average, yeah, the mean average basically. Okay, so you can check over here what is your starting point and what is your ending point so that you can use it as your fundamental range for today. However, yeah, usually it will always come near to this. Ya, dia selalu akan datang dekat-dekat di 1830.76 ke 1840.88. Okay, so I want to actually ask you if there is any particular question, please kindly ask me. I already tell you that, you know, when NFP is coming, yeah, before NFP is coming, please kindly close all your buy. Anyone who basically have a buy, please kindly close your trades. Yeah, because of course, retracement is going to happen. Okay, where actually US dollar is going to be very strong during that period of time. And if you are not actually prepared, yeah, there will be a blow in your account. Okay, I'm letting you know right now lah. Saya dah bagi tahu kan. Okay, so sekarang ni kita dah tahu kita dah boleh faham trend adalah bullish Okay, fundamental range saya dah bagi dah. Okay, and also it's very important to know what are the fundamental factors that is basically affecting the market. Yeah, and one more thing that I want to touch here, because currently we already look at the leading indicator, we already look at the lagging indicator, but it's very important for us to understand for coincident indicator. Okay, so what is coincident indicator basically? Okay, coincident indicator means that something that just happens. Okay, sometimes market can be very unpredictable, where basically, like for example, if you say, oh, the trend today is bullish, so which means that I'm going to place a buy and I'm going to let it for the whole day, and then at 12 o'clock I'm going to close it. Oh, I'm going to be profitable. Okay, that's never going to happen basically. Yeah, so there is a reason. Okay, there is always a reason suddenly that there's something can happen in the market that it can actually turn out to be something else rather than what we basically predict. And that is something what we call as the coincident indicator. So how do we understand coincident indicator basically? Coincident indicator is something that will just happen, and it is something that we cannot predict. But we have something over here which we can always look into, which is firstly is the news in investing.com, which will definitely tell you what are some of the coincident things that might happen. And another thing is that what you can do is that you can go to Forex Factory, okay, over here, click on the news over here at the top here, and you can look into news or latest story. Okay, okay, some people might ask me, like basically, do I have to look into the news all the time? Basically, the answer is no. Okay, the answer is no, because you just have to look into the important news at least for 1 hour lah. At least for 1 hour. Okay, someone is asking me something. All in sell before NFP. All in sell before NFP. Oh, I see. All is in sell for NFP. I see. Full margin. Okay. Full margin. Okay. Okay. Well, guys, if you have I would suggest you guys, if let's say you all have another account, a small account, then maybe if you go for full margin, it's it's advisable. But if let's say you don't have you don't have another account, then please do not try for full margin. Basically, yeah. Full margin is full margin unless if you are really willing, to actually lose the money. If you are really willing to lose the money, then you go all out, basically. But sometimes things can turn out well also. Yeah, sometimes things can turn out well also. So we will see what actually what actually happens as well. And please be reminded that today is Friday. Okay, today is Friday. Market is very, very volatile. Usually traders avoid to trade on Friday. But however, since we are looking for entry, basically, so that's why it's very important for us to find what are the factors that will be actually affecting it. So let's go for the coincident, for the coincidence news, basically. So as we are able to see for coincident, there is a lot of news over here. Okay, sini ada banyak news. Sini ada banyak news. Kalau kita nak baca satu-satu memang tak ada masa kan. Okay, so which means that if let's say you are actually focusing on gold, you only focus on US dollars specifically. For example, 41 minutes ago, you have one news, which is related to hot US labor market data. Saw equities lower on Thursday. All eyes on today. On today, apa? Clients indeed. Okay. So you can see what happened. All eyes on today US employment report. So if you see this, basically you already understand that how important is the US employment report for today, because this US employment report will actually give you the trend, or whatever that is going to happen in the market. This is something, a key point that we can look into when we look into the coincident news. So other than that, basically, you can also look for other news which is related to USD. Sometimes, yes, of course, you will see like GBP to USD forecast and everything. But these are some of the things that you have to see also, because sometimes, not every news which is related to US is actually parked, over here. Yeah. Which what I mean to say is that, okay, you have to see the relevance of the news to what you are actually trading. Okay. Like for example, I see to hot US labor market and this thing, because why this is more specific to the US dollar, basically. So of course, when it's more specific to US dollar, which means I can know what is actually happening to the US economy. Yeah. US economy, US news is very important if let's say you are basically trading towards gold. Yeah. It's very, very important. Okay. So every 1 hour, basically, you can look into one news at least. Yeah. If you are not able to look into the news here, not to worry. Just go to investing.com and search and see if, let's say, there is another news, okay, that might be coming out. And from here also, you will be able to know what are the news, basically. The reason why I'm actually using Forex Factory and I'm also using investing.com is because I want confirmation. Okay, it's due to confirmation. There is nothing that, investing.com is better than Forex Factory, or Forex Factory is basically better than investing.com. There's no such thing, basically. So the only thing what I'm actually seeing over here is that we want confirmation. Yeah. So when we look at investing.com, this news is basically focusing just from the investing.com. But however, as we know, investing.com have a lot of investors, has a lot of people that are actually looking into the news over here, which means that the sources here have to be reliable. Okay. And for Forex Factory, the reason why I'm actually looking at Forex Factory, okay, is because most of the news here is coming from various websites. As you can see over here, we have BTB Markets, we have OMSECO, we have Nasdaq.com, we have Pinco, we have Bloomberg, and all this particular news that is basically parked over here is not ordinary news. So which means it's being done by a very extensive analyst, and they will be able to actually help you in your trades as well. Okay, that is the reason why I'm using investing.com, and at the same time I'm also using from Forex Factory. And one more thing, if you realize also that investing.com is very seldom that we can see their particular news also. So maybe this is one of the way also that how you can use you can use investing.com in order to actually add in more to your research as well. Okay. So, but from here itself, by just using this particular method, you already understand, that the trend is going to be bullish. I've already told you what is the range, basically. Okay. So currently, I want to go with the technical analysis. Okay. I would like to go with the technical analysis. But before I go for technical analysis, I would like to ask, is there any questions that you would like to ask me? I open the session to 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah. Maybe Gorby, maybe Cesade, Trishul, Risk Taker, Madam Eileen, Moril. Do you have any questions for me? Doesn't matter. I want to understand more about the daily range. Okay, you want to understand more about daily range. Okay. All right. Okay, for particular daily range, okay. Usually for daily range, price for gold. Okay. Usually for daily range, we always look at this particular day's range, okay, which is 1830.76 to 1840.91. As you see that this particular range is not actually stable, Moral. This particular range is not stable and can change. It can basically change, okay, because currently it's still in the morning over here, and it can change basically the moment when you want to go into trade. So it is very important for you to actually check your day's range as well. But usually the morning range, the morning range is something that it will definitely be at, which means that it is something that the market will definitely retrace back to its particular range. And we are very lucky that basically from 10:30, when you say max is 1859 or average 5, or you would like to know about that, okay, I will come to that as well. Okay, I'll come to that. Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay, max is 1859 and average 5. Okay. For this, okay. For example, general historical data. Okay. So as you can see over here, okay, you see, we always use about moving average. Let me get you a separate chart. Okay, just imagine that this is a naked chart. Basically, I'm going to close this up. That's a support and resistance. As you are actually able to see over here. So for example, if let's say we are having moving average, okay, we are having moving average. Okay, so now currently this is on the default settings. Let's change this to the length of 5. EMA. Okay, fine. Let's go with EMA. And yeah, it will work. So as you understand from here, okay, when we speak about moving average means the movement of 5 candles. Yeah, it is the movement of 5 candles on every time frame. So for example, if we are looking currently at the daily, okay, this particular moving average, yeah, is calculating 5 days, okay, is calculating 5 days average, basically. Yeah. So for example, the moving average is already being designed, okay, over here, that where we can calculate it automatically, basically, okay, for the particular range. Okay. So as you are able to see here, if let's say we are looking at a particular range, it is very important for us to look at our support and also our resistance as well. Okay. For this, if let's say I'm using another indicator which I just closed, okay, I will show you how this calculation is actually being done, because the one I'm doing is actually the manual one. Okay. So if you can see, this is the support. Let me go with the horizontal line. Horizontal line. Okay, you can see here the red color. I'm using indicator. So you can see that this is actually the resistance point. Okay. And let me go with the blue color. I'm going to place another one which should be here. Here. Horizontal line should be here. Okay. What do you basically understand from this is that this is basically the movement of 5 candles, basically, okay, for 5 days at the daily. And as you are able to see here, based on the support and also the resistance, this is basically the range. Yeah, this is basically the range. As you are able to see here, the range here is basically at 1813, yeah, 1813, for example, and this is basically a daily. And if you look for the support, it would actually be at 1616.90. Okay, this is basically the big range. Okay, because why? We are basically looking at daily, so that's why actually you have a big range. If we look at the lower time frame, the range will be much more lower. Okay, so as per the understanding, or basically understanding what is the fundamental range, okay, the fundamental range, usually I do it manually. Okay, we do it manually because we actually, how to say, have the open price and also we have the high price. Okay, we have the open price and also we have the high price. If we look into the, this, okay, if we look into this particularly, okay, we also have our open price and also we have our close price as well, based on the candles. Okay, based on the candles, basically. Yeah, this is for daily. Yeah, I'm looking at daily, basically. Yeah, so the ones that I'm looking at here, okay, is also for daily. Whatever information that you have over here, which you can get from your chart, that information is also over here. Okay, so when I speak about something which is called as the frequency number, basically, Okay, that particular frequency number is basically referring to moving average 5. Okay, so that moving average 5, what I do is that because I have the data over here, okay, for the open, and I also have the data for the high. Okay, what I did is basically I use the open price for 5, okay, for 5 days, okay, and then I divide it by 5. Because why I actually looking at the daily? The question is why I'm actually looking at the daily. Why don't I look at weekly, monthly, or I should look at other time frames basically? Because I'm actually doing intraday. Okay, I'm actually doing intraday. So when I'm actually doing intraday, of course, I will focus on daily. Okay, to actually find my range for the day. Because if I find the range for the day, which means that I will be able to actually trade throughout the day in that particular range. Okay, if there's any question, please ask me. I don't mind. If let's say you're asking me more questions, so I would be glad actually. So, for example, if you have open for 5 and you have high for 5, you divide by 5 as well. Okay, some people will ask me, why don't we use moving average 10? Why don't we use moving average 200? Why don't we use moving average 50? Some people will ask me that. The reason why I use 5, because 5 is the most minimum one. Okay, 5 is the most minimum moving average that is being used. Of course, we can use moving average 1, moving average 2 and all. But however, we know that the market has a very high volatility. And the most stable number or the frequency number, which means that I have a very high probability, is basically number 5. Okay, so that is the reason why we are using and we are dividing by 5 basically. Yeah. Okay, so that is the answer to the question model basically. So like this is actually just how to say, this is basically when we are doing it this way, which means that we are actually focusing on fundamental analysis. Yeah, which means that we are doing the calculation manually. Okay, I'll try to calculate. Sure, Maureen, definitely. So when we are doing this, we are actually doing it manually. We are basically doing this manually. But if we do it here, okay, if we do it here, we are actually using the technical indicators, okay, in order for us to basically know the range. Okay, you can do it over here also. You can do it over here also. Okay, but if let's say you're going with the data, I would suggest you to basically do it here, because why, you have all the data over here, which would be much more easier basically for you to actually predict for your fundamental range for that particular day. Okay, so this is what actually lah. But you know, most of the people, sometimes they do not have much time to do calculations. So that's one of the reason why I suggested them to actually take the day range over here. Okay, because somehow, okay, they will definitely go towards this road. Like for example, basically, you want to go to Perak, basically, for example. So I know that maybe you cannot travel that much far. So what would happen is that basically I can tell you to the most nearest point, then you can actually reach there, basically. So with that later on, maybe you will actually, how to say, somehow, yeah, reach out to your destination place as well. Okay, how that's going to happen, that is actually based on you. Okay, so but the thing is that what I'm trying to say over here is that basically this is actually based on the range, that you will definitely cross into, okay, for the days range basically. All right, okay. So if there's any, sir, are you active on Telegram? Yes, I am active in Telegram. I do have my educational channel as well, which I just recently established. I'll be sharing the link to you as well after the class. Yeah, not to worry. In that particular education group, we also can talk about anything basically. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah? And I didn't actually close that group. I mean, like in terms of the chats, because I allow all of you to actually say whatever you want actually. So sometimes we can discuss on certain signals, yeah, and sometimes we can also look into education that we need. Doesn't matter if you are a newbie, you are an intermediate, or whether you are advanced. Yeah. So for now, I only have about 13 people, I believe. Yeah, 13 people in that group. And very soon we'll be growing that group slow by slow as well. Yeah, I will definitely send you the link after the class. Please remind me, but I think I will remember. I'll actually send you the link as well. Okay, and okay. So what else? What else? What else questions that you have before I go to technical analysis? What else do you have before I go to technical analysis? Okay, for technical analysis, okay, thanks. I'll be waiting for a telegram. Okay, sure, definitely. Open this. Just give me a moment. All right. So analysis. Kindly bear with me. Okay, application, signal. Not to worry. Copy the link. And now I'm basically sending it inside the group as well. Bear with me, guys. And there you go. Okay, that's my link basically for all of you who are actually not in the in the group. So you all can actually join. For those of you who are already there, so you know what we are doing there basically, right? Okay. So speaking about technical analysis. Okay, speaking about technical analysis. Okay. For technical analysis, you can see that I have a lot of things over here. Basically, I have too many things over here, but first and foremostly, I would like to speak here about intraday trading. Okay, so usually these are the technique here, which is being used by many people, and it has a probability of winning rate of about 80 to 85%, basically. Okay, which you can also use as your signal as well. Okay, but don't not worry about the signals. I will definitely provide some signals by today as well in the group. Yeah. So for daily, basically, as you are able to see here, okay, if we look at this particular data, we actually can look into Fibonacci. Okay, Fibonacci, and we also can see here that we have 3 support points and we also have 3 resistance points. Okay, we have 3 support points and also 3 resistance points. Okay, so we also have our pivot point, which will definitely be a point where the actually retracement will definitely happen. Okay, so this is the point where the retracement definitely happens. So whether if you take from support 1 for buy, for example, you will definitely reach to 1839.07 for the take profit. Yeah, it's possible. But first and foremostly, very importantly, is to understand the trend. Yeah, we have to understand the trend. From the fundamental analysis, what we understand is that the trend is basically bullish. Ya, kita tahu yang bahawa dia ada kenaikan, ya. There is a bullish, ya. Okay. So as we can see here, okay, for our technical analysis, for our technical indicators is basically giving us a strong buy. Okay, and this is all based on 11 indicators that we are having here. RSI, stochastic RSI, MACD, ADX, William, percentage R, and so many. Yeah. Okay, maybe some of you do not know what is all this basically. Okay, but the thing is that it is very helpful. Okay, we have to know that it is actually very, very helpful. Okay, why is it very helpful? Because rather than you actually placing all this on the chart, basically, they already actually summarize it for you. Okay, they already basically summarize it for you, where they basically make it easier for you. Yeah, basically make it easier for you. Okay, they make it easier for you over here. Okay, so you have 11 indicators which is supporting more towards strong buy at the daily. Okay, so then you go for weekly, you can see that your technical indicators is also actually saying to you a strong buy as well, and this is also based on all the indicators here. Some people ask me, okay, do I have to look into the moving average or not? Okay, definitely. Okay, if you want to look into the moving average, you can do so. You can do so. Yeah, there is no problem. Basically, if you don't want to look at the moving average also, it's fine. If you want to look at the moving average, it's also fine. Yeah, it does not make much difference. Okay. So if you go for the monthly, okay, you also have your technical indicators to basically give you a strong buy. So based on what actually I'm seeing over here, why I'm actually looking at the 3 time frames. Okay, one of the reason is because I want to do an intraday trading. I want to trade throughout the whole day. Okay, so I want to know what is my trend. I understand from fundamental analysis, it's basically a buy. Okay, but what I do not know is that where I want to entry basically, and I also want more confirmation also from my technical analysis, so that I will be able to actually combine my fundamental analysis and also my technical analysis, so that I can get more stronger confirmation for entry for the day. Okay, so as I'm able to see here, I have a strong buy, strong buy, strong buy. Yeah? Okay, which is a very good thing, yeah, for me to trade for a longer term period. Okay, but the thing is that I'm doing another thing. I'm doing another thing which I will be showing to you. Okay, forget about this first. Don't worry about it. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to add something which is called as linear regression. Okay, why do I add linear regression? Is because I want to see what is the trend. Okay, I want to understand properly what is the trend based on technical analysis. Okay, so as I'm able to see here at the daily, okay, I have my trend which is going towards upwards, and it's more focusing towards uptrend basically, yeah, for the daily. So if I look here basically at my, I'll just put it all together so that it's much more easier for me to see, right? So right. So yeah, I'll just put it inside here so it's easy for me. Okay, so as you can see, I have a strong buy as well. And as you can see, my linear regression here is also supporting more towards uptrend as well. Okay, so if I go for my weekly, I can see that for my weekly, it's slightly a bit different. But from my understanding here, it is more towards neutral or a slight downtrend. Okay. Now what I do is that I go to my monthly basically, and I can see my monthly, it is supporting more towards uptrend. So from here, basically, we know that we have 2 time frames based on linear regression is supporting more towards the uptrend, which is basically the monthly and also the daily. But the weekly is basically neutral, or it's basically slightly downtrend. Yeah, you would be able to see this. Yeah, basically. Okay, you just have to understand the usage of the linear regression. So what happens here is that from here actually I want to have more confirmation. Basically, yeah, I want to test what is the percent profitable. Yeah, if let's say if I'm going with a buy basically on these particular time frames. Yeah, I want to know that how can I earn profit? Yeah, how can I earn profit? Yeah, or which time frame that is reliable for me? Okay, for this basically I'm using Bollinger Band Strategy Tester and also RSI Strategy Tester. Okay, some people ask me why I use Bollinger Band Strategy Tester and why do I use RSI Strategy Tester. Okay, now I'll show you firstly. Okay, I'll open the Bollinger Band Strategy Tester and also the RSI Strategy Tester. Okay, just go here, type in RSI. As you can see here, RSI strategy. Just click on this. Okay, where you will have it here over here. Okay, and another thing what you can do is that you can go to Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band strategy. As you're able to see here. Okay. Okay, so as I say, as you can see here, Bollinger Band strategy and RSI strategy tester is basically a very good combination because it does help in the trend, and at the same time, it also gives you the percent profitable on which time frame that you can go for. If let's say you want to go for entry. For now, basically, we are focusing more towards the daily because we want to do intraday. Okay, we want to do intraday. So if in case that basically our percent profitable at the daily does not meet the requirement of 50% and above for the RSI strategy and also the Bollinger Band strategy, which means that we cannot actually entry at that particular time frame. Okay, let me get this very clear once again. If let's say at a daily, basically, if you do not have your RSI and also your Bollinger Band strategy tester to have a percent profitable, which is above 50%, okay, at the daily time frame, basically you don't have it, which means that you cannot actually entry in that particular time frame. You have to choose the time frames that basically have the percent profitable, which is basically above 50%. Okay, this is where actually we do intraday. Okay, but we are focusing on the daily time frame. So let's go to the daily time frame and check first. So as we are able to see at our daily time frame currently, as we know it's more towards uptrend. If you see based on your Bollinger Band strategy, it is actually showing you about 64.57%. Okay, which is good. Okay, which is very good. Okay, now I'm going to take you to RSI strategy and see. You can see it's about 66.67%. Okay, which actually meets our SOP or actually meets our requirement that where you can actually use these time frames in order to go, okay, go and trade lah, basically. Okay, all right. So now you also have to check with your weekly and also your monthly. The reason why you basically check with your weekly and also your monthly is because you want to know, you want to know what actually happens at the higher time frames, because you are actually going for daily. So when you're going for daily, that means you're trading for a very, very long time period. So then you check with your weekly. If you see at your weekly, you have about 56.25% for your RSI strategy. And for your Bollinger Band strategy, you have about 56.76%, which is slightly lower than your daily. Okay. Then what you do is that you go to your monthly. Basically, you go to your monthly. Okay. You will be able to see at your Bollinger Band strategy, you have 36.36%. Okay. As I said, it is very important for you to actually get the percent profitable, which is above 50%. Yeah. Whether it's for your Bollinger Band strategy tester or your RSI strategy tester. So as you're able to see here, this is 36.6 itself, which actually does not meet the requirement. So what you can do, you can go for your RSI strategy, and your RSI strategy also basically shows you a 0%, which means that of course for entry or the time frame for daily, the time frame for monthly is basically unreliable. So you don't have to look at monthly, basically. Yeah, you can't look at monthly. So basically your points of reference that can be, okay, in this particular trade is weekly basically, and also daily. Okay, so that's why we are actually using the strategy tester as well. So as we are able to see for the daily, okay, we already get, so it's supporting more towards the uptrend. And other than that, all our technical indicators here at daily basically is also supporting more towards a strong buy. Okay, when I speak about strong buy, which means that I mean by uptrend. If I talk about strong sell, which means that it will be downtrend. Okay. So if there's any question, please kindly ask me. Yeah? Please kindly ask me. So from here, actually, we know that our technical analysis is also supporting more towards strong buy, basically. And this actually compile, this actually comply with our fundamental analysis that we just did based on all the fundamental factors that we have discussed. So we know that the fundamental analysis and also the technical analysis are basically aligned. So when they are being aligned, what we do is that we will focus at the daily at all our support points. And why I use Fibonacci is because Fibonacci has a very high probability of retracement. Yeah. So, but here they already calculated for you. Okay, they already give you, okay, the price and everything. So, but each time that you are actually entering the trade, please kindly check again. Use the same process because it can change. Yeah, it can definitely change. Okay, but usually it takes time in order to change. Okay, So when you are actually looking into this, okay, these are all the support points that you can look into. And from these particular support points, you can place a pending order, and then it will definitely retrace back to your pivot point. So usually what I do is that we always focus at the support one, because we know that the trend is basically bullish. So if the trend is basically bullish, that means the chances for it to actually come down is very low. Basically, sometimes we will have a trade that on that day it doesn't even touch your pending order. Okay, it doesn't. But you have to know one thing, that it is one of the most safest way in order to go in the trade. It is better to actually avoid trading on that day, okay, rather than actually losing money. Okay, so what we do is that we look at the support one, which is 1825.82, which can be our entry point. Okay, since we are supporting more towards a strong buy, and we can take it our take profit at 1839.07, because no matter whatever happens, yeah, it still have to basically retrace to its pivot point. I would not suggest a stop loss for now. Okay, because why I do believe here, because sometimes when we have NFP, okay, for NFP today, we could have some shifting here that could happen here, which could actually strike to our support 2 or even our support 3 as well. So the best is always to wait, is to always wait for the price to retrace back, okay, to the pivot point, which would be at 1839.07. So that is basically how we look into the intraday trading. Yeah, I find this this method to be one of the most simplest way in order to look into trade, because I believe that some people are more towards chart, but some people would prefer to actually use the data. So the best thing is that if let's say you are a kind of person who likes data and you want to look for entry point and you do not like chart, so basically this is the method that you can basically use. At least I'm reducing the amount that you are basically using the chart, and it's not very complicated in order for you to basically use the chart. Okay, so that's why this is one of the reason why I just said put a linear regression. Okay, just because we want to know the trend, that's it. There is no any particular settings, it's all totally on default. And at the same time, just put your RSI and only your Bollinger Band strategy. That's it. Yeah, it's just that you will just work between these three indicators only. Okay, so with that, actually, you will be able to see what's your percent profitable, which time frame is basically reliable, and automatically you can basically go. Okay, you know that actually daily, okay, is supportive. Go to your Fibonacci, okay, to your support one as your entry point, and take your profit at the. That's it. Okay, that's it. All right. So this is one of the way you can go about. And speaking about technical. Okay. Okay, we are currently at 12 o'clock. Okay, I will try to settle these for about 15 minutes. But first and foremostly, I would like to ask all of you, do you have any questions basically on what I have actually shared for today? If you don't have any questions, then I would actually ask you to ask me some questions related to technical. I know some of you are quite new over here, but do not worry. I'll try to go, I'll try to actually explain as well related to whatever questions, that is being asked by the by our participants basically. May I ask, is there any questions? Madam Lily, Moril, Trishul, Gorby, is there any questions? You can also type in on the chat, or maybe if you want to unmute yourself. Yeah, I understand so far. Okay, that's great, Moril. That's great, yeah. So what about Gorby and quite fine, quite fine, huh? Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great. That's good. I'm happy about it. Trishul, Virji, are you okay?
Yeah, all good.
You good, huh? All good, huh? Okay, yeah. Okay, what about Gorby? Gorby, are you there? Okay, no problem. Maybe Gorby is like busy or something. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So this is where we actually go with intraday. Yeah? We go with intraday basically. Okay. So now speaking about technical, let's play with some indicators, okay? Okay, let's play with some indicators. Okay, for example, I have too many indicators over here, which I can open all of it basically. But then, I'm just seeing, I saw something yesterday, which I would like to share to all of you. Okay, and currently is just in the testing basically, and likely, that this indicator could actually enter in this chart very soon. Okay, which I will share with all of you. So if I can see based on the intraday, okay, this is something that I explored today. Okay, let me check for the INPG. Okay. Okay, INPG. Then at the same time, we have TDFI.m. Okay, do not worry, do not get worried about this, basically. As you are able to see here, okay, first and foremostly, you have the trading view. Okay, for those of you who are actually using the trading view premium, you will be able to access a lot of, a lot of trading indicators over here. Okay, let's say that you have the free one, you will be able to actually place at least 2 to 3 free indicators. Yeah, so you can use the trading view. I would highly suggest you to basically use the trading view. Okay, so for example, what you could do, okay, based on this, you can just see on Echo. Okay, just press on Echo. Echo Lux Algo. Supposed to be Lux Algo forecast. Okay, should be at. Give me a moment, guys. Cool. Okay, yeah, it is this there. The Echo forecast, the Echo forecast Lux Algo. So once you click this, you will be able to come to something like this. You will be able to see this on your particular chart. Okay, just ignore this. Okay, just ignore the down there. Okay, so what does this does actually? Okay, what does this does is basically, I will show it to you. For example, if you see over here, you can see this blue line, right? Over here, right? Okay, it basically gives you a prediction of what would happen in the market. Yeah. Okay, it's not necessarily that it might be correct. Yeah, but it has a very high probability that it can actually give you the direction of where it's heading to. So as we are able to see here, currently we are looking at 5 minutes. We are looking at 5 minutes. So for example, if let's say I'm taking a trend line, for example, let's say from this particular point to this particular point. Okay, as you can see over here, I'm taking from this particular point to this particular point. Why did I take from this particular point? Because the current market is basically at this particular point at the 5-minute chart there. Okay, so if let's say I want to trade and let's say I place a buy over here. Okay, let's say I place a buy over here. So what will happen is that it will be floating a little bit and then it will be going up, it will be floating a little bit and going up, going up, going up. And at the same time, once I reach my price over here, I can basically take profit. Okay, so this is why actually that I'm actually suggesting for this particular thing here, but I want to add this to my different chart very soon. Okay, very soon, which will definitely give us a very strong signals, okay, where we can predict in a much high accuracy. Okay, and also if possible, if we can avoid retracement in the market, that would be very, very helpful basically for our trades, so that we can have a very high winning rate of trades. Okay, so as we are able to see here, I also have another indicator which is basically known as TDFI. Okay, TDFI. Okay, you just have to go to indicator and press TDFI. Okay, as you can see TDFI here. Okay, TDFI over here, where you can actually look at trend direction force index here. I believe it's this one. So you can just click on this here, trend direction force index. Okay. For this one, CM. Oh, this is about 201. And this is about 201. Okay. Right. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So what does this does is basically, okay, for example, if you can look over here, okay, if you can really see over here, this is one of the example that I will show you. if you see over here, it is all in blue in color. It is all completely blue in color. So if you see that this is blue in color, that means it is actually supporting more towards buy. Okay, it was actually supporting more towards buy. If let's say it is actually in this particular color, okay, there is no any indication here or what should happen. Yeah, basically we do not know until we have something called as the blue color, which we can place a buy over here, and automatically we can have the market. Yeah, okay, to actually support more towards buy, basically. Yeah, okay, more towards buy. If let's say we are here, and then we see this blue color, we still can place buy, and they still reach over here, somewhere around here. But it's likely that we will not have much profit over here. So it's actually very important also for us to look into this this particular how to say this particular indicator. So, but one good thing about this indicator is that it can tell you about the places that you should avoid, basically, of trading. Yeah. For example, if you have TDFI, basically it means that it is the place where you could avoid to basically trade in the market. Okay. So let's say, okay, let's try something. Okay, let's try something. Yeah, I don't know if this would work. For example, if we look at this particular place right now, okay, we look at this particular place, please bear with me. Okay, bring it over here. Okay, set settings. Okay, and just bear with me. Okay, you know what I'm doing actually? Okay, I'm showing you a live telecast. You see, because this particular trade, okay, which basically happened over here, okay, and then they actually predicted, yeah, this orange color is the place where they predicted where the market would go. Yeah, where the market would go. Let's see together, okay, what actually happens here. What actually happens. So for example, now I'm going to replay this. You're going to check the play. Do you want to exit this mode? Just give me a moment. Firstly, it should cut. You know what happened. Just bear with me, yeah. No problem. Maybe some settings here. Actually, basically what you can do is that usually you can actually place it. Once you place it, and then you can replay it here. So which means that if let's say it's already predicting that it will actually go up. So what it means is that you can actually place your buy over here, then automatically it will reach to its destination basically. But however, as you see over here, that this particular line over here is actually more towards a place where you should not trade. Yeah, it's but this is more towards a very strong indication of not trading lah. But however, even if you use for the echo, yeah, the echo lux itself, you will be able to find many entries as well. Okay, you'll be able to find many entries as well. Okay, so for this actually I wanted to show you for the live. Okay, it should work. I don't know what happened. Okay, so for example, if I want to replay, so I cut it here. Okay, and let's say if I go for buy. Okay, I buy at this particular point. Buy should work. Okay, buy at this particular point. Okay, and then replay. No. Flatten. Okay, just give me a moment here. Just give me a moment. We will come back with the settings here. I'll just place on hold for a while and I will be back. Just give me about 2 minutes. I'm back. Hi, a very good day to all of you. Okay, all right. I already find what are the proper settings. Where can you download the Zoom? Okay, basically we have a YouTube channel. Okay, basically, and from the YouTube channel, I will be able to provide you the particular link, but it needs to be uploaded there. But in case if you want the Zoom link here, Zoom link, I can send it personally to you as well, Morel. Yeah. So for this actually, all right. Okay, for this actually, okay, because it's the very new settings, Morel. So I'm going to share it with you. So for example, let's go with, are you able to see my screen sharing? Okay, I'm screen sharing, yeah? Cool. Okay. For example, okay, all right. This must work here. It have to work. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Not to worry. Okay. For example, so from here on, okay, for example, if you can see over here, it is actually basically telling you to actually sell. Yeah? Let's see what actually happens based on this. As we can play, can you see actually what actually happens? So we can see that actually there is a movement. There is a movement that is happening here with what was being predicted previously. Yeah. But however, let's say if somebody has actually sold at this particular point, okay, we can see what is happening. Okay, so which means that this testing, okay, we see here, we see what happens. Okay, which means that if let's say we are going with this particular settings means we will not actually be able to actually reach our, okay, we will not actually be able to actually reach our take profit. Okay, that is the reason why I believe, okay, that we need for trend direction. Okay, where are you? For trend direction. Okay, this is something very new for me. Yeah? I'm going to share this with all of you. Very soon that this particular thing is going to be used. So it's very important for me to share this with you. I do have it here, but it looks like I will have to place it again. Trend, direction, or TDFI. Yeah? TDFI, what's this thing? Okay, there you go. Okay, so from our understanding, basically, okay, from here, just now when we see, we have actually cut from here. Okay, so now I'm going to just make it okay back. So as we can see over here, at this particular point that I'm placing my cursor right now, if you can see my cursor over here, we have actually seen that it was more towards uptrend. Okay, but we see that there was no particularly direction from this particular TDFI as well. But as we know, at one particular point, we did have the indication that it was actually supporting more towards buy. Okay, so if we look at the previous one, okay, here was sell and then it was actually going to the buy. So as we basically click over here, okay, we click over here again. Let's look at this again. Okay, look over here and then it seems like it just have a bit lagging. Yeah, it just have a little bit lagging. Replay. Okay, should have. Yeah, it seems it has a little bit lagging, but do not worry. Okay, so for example, if it's already predicting, okay, at this particular time, and we can see at a TDFI, okay, that we have here a particularly for sell, supporting more towards sell. Okay, so but from here itself, we know that we do not have much confirmation, okay, because it never actually touches negative 0.20. Okay, it never actually touches negative 0.20. Okay, so if we, let's say we replay it, okay, just look at what happened. Okay, from here it touches back, Okay. Okay. So once you reach at negative 0.02, okay, the trend basically start to change. Okay, the trend basically start to change. Okay, so you can see that it's supported more towards buy. Yeah, it's supported more towards buy. Okay. So, okay, all right. So we want to see we want to see how far this will go. Okay, this is assuming in case if you actually haven't entered the trade yet, yeah, it can be very difficult to actually spot. Yeah, it can be very difficult to actually spot, because why? If we do not know what is going to happen, what is going to happen later, which means that definitely we can actually have a wrong trade also over here. However, I believe if let's say you're using this particular Echo Lux algo, you will be actually able to actually know roughly that where that particular direction is heading to. Yeah, which means that it does follow accordingly, but only that it has a little lagging, which you have to actually confirm with your TDFI. Okay, so currently this is what we are working on. Okay, this is what we are working on. So this is just a sharing session that I'm actually giving to all of you. Okay, so by next week, by next week, actually what is going to happen, you will not actually see this chart, but you will be seeing this chart along with all the other charts as well. All the other charts as well. So the reason why I'm actually showing you this is because I want to tell you about what we are basically doing. What we are basically doing. Named, unnamed, and also we have for unnamed as well. Okay, these are all the things that you're going to see by next week. It's quite many. A lot. Basically, it's a lot. So what I want to actually know from all of you, I want to know whether all of you have any questions. Do ask me some questions, and basically I am going to explain about all this particular thing. I did one actually in my previous Zoom. I did explain about this in my yesterday Zoom, basically, which I believe it's better for me to upload it on YouTube. Yeah. And then after that, I will share it in our education group as well. In Moral, you are there. So what will happen is that you will be able to access my education for yesterday. So what is going to happen is that the reason why I'm adding too many indicators over here is because I want to ensure that our trading actually meet the highest efficiency as possible. So we are actually looking forward towards it. Yeah. So that's what actually is the sharing session for today. So in case if you want to know more about that particular, how to say, the trading indicator, okay, which will be added to this particular trading indicator, stay tuned. Yeah. And do join us on Monday, basically for 10:30 up to 11:30. And I will be showing you more here regarding on all this trading indicator. Is there any questions basically to all of you? If there's any, just ask me because it's already 12:22 and I will be ending the session shortly. Madam Lily, do you have any questions? Moril, do you have any questions? Trishul, do you have any questions? And also, Gorby, do you have any questions? You good? Okay, you're good. Okay, that's great. You're good. Okay, all right. Okay. Do not worry. Do not actually worry. Yeah, it's all good. Everything is good. Okay, I have shared to you the intraday strategy basically. And regarding on this, of course, it will take a little time. Maybe I need to have a time where we can only focus on technical analysis only. Yeah. So with that, actually, I believe that many people actually like technical analysis. So with that, we can see which way that we can actually increase our probability in order to win. If any questions, feel free to actually contact me also on my number, which I will be providing to all of you. Okay, which is 014-258-4067. Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to contact me. And also please join my Telegram group as well, so that I can actually, whenever I have time, I will actually definitely reach out there and I will help all of you for trading. Doesn't matter if let's say you are newbie or whether you are advanced trader or whether you are intermediate. I'm totally open. I'm totally open to all of you. Okay. Sure, all of you. Trishul, Virji, you have any questions?
No, all good so far. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Okay, most welcome. Gordy, maybe it's busy, I guess. Yeah, I think it's busy. Okay, here we go now. Okay, so guys, have a good day. Okay, to all of you, and Moral, don't worry about the how to say the recording. I'll be sending that in the group. Okay. All right. See you guys, and have a good day to all of you. Take care.